Hello, and welcome to the special episode of the Baltic Football Podcast. Much like the rest of the Baltic leagues, we are currently off season. However, this is not the case for one club who is currently making history in Europe for Latvia and the entire region, RFS. In this special episode, we are going to look at their next opponents, the legendary AFC Ajax. On the 23rd of January, the Latvian champions will face Ajax at the Daugava Stadium in Riga. This seventh round of the Europa League pits an Ajax team halfway through their season against what is probably a semi-rested, semi-pre-season RFS squad for whom playing competitive football in January is a completely novel experience. Without doubt, questions will arise about RFS's match sharpness and stamina due to their lack of competitive games. Will this prove to be an advantage or disadvantage for the Latvian champions? To delve deeper into AFC Ajax, currently sitting comfortably in second place in the Eredivisie, we are joined by Dutch journalist Thijs Zwagerman from ESPN Netherlands and podcast Het Sportpaleis. Hello, Thijs. How has the football world of 2025 started for you?
For me,
Nice.
personally, very good. Thank you for having me on the show. Yeah, like you said, I'm working for ESPN, the Dutch broadcaster, and also making a podcast with my colleague Lars van Eijden, calling Het Sportpaleis. So yeah, we're back in business, and everything is running like we used to in the very busy playing schedule of the current world of football, of course.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about how the Eredivisie started this year and how Ajax have fared in the league.
Yeah, Ajax have really improved comparing to last season, which was one of the better seasons in their history of the club. They for a short time were low on the table, so they very improved themselves this year with a new trainer, Francesco Farioli from Italy, which he has done very good work so far. So he made Ajax defensively way better than they were last season. And there are some critics on the attractive way of playing and the attacking style of playing, which some people, some supporters, maybe also other journalists saying it is not like we used to from the history of Ajax. Like you introduced them as a former Champions League winner, and they play attractive football, but that's way less this season. But yeah, they getting there, and they in the process to rebuild, so that will take some more time. And yeah, they're now in the second place of the Eredivisie behind PSV, the current champion. So
Okay.
yeah, that's not too bad.
So the last season was a bit of a disaster. They finished fifth and they had issues with Mark Overmars, who left his role as director of football affairs after a series of inappropriate messages to female employees. They're now sitting second. You mentioned they're rebuilding. What are they doing? How have they been rebuilding this squad, and how have they tactically changed from such a bad season last year?
Yeah, it is hard to rebuild because they have some financial problems comparing to the situation of Mark Overmars. So since the moment he left, Ajax also had Sven Mislintat as a technical director, who one summer brought in 12 players for around 100 million euros, but that 12 players only Josep Sutalo is one in the starting 11 now, the defender from Croatia.
And
And all,
that was 100 million spent in 2023.
yeah, right. So after that, yeah, they have financial problems. So they now have to rebuild a squad without so much money as they were used to spend before. And also the talents coming through from the academy, they have to adapt and have to. They need more time to be at the quality of Ajax once, of course. So you have players like Jorel Hato, Kenneth Taylor, Brian Brobby. They are from the own academy and are very important players to the team. But after them, when we look at players from 17, 18, 19 years old maybe, they have more, they need more time to adapt at the team and to be important for the team. So that's a bit of difficult situation without so many money to bring in players that are at the Ajax level directly, and also from the youth academy players, they need some more time. So that's a difficult situation for Farioli to rebuild Ajax. But with Farioli, with Alex Kroes, the current technical director, and also Marijn Beuker, who is director of football, there's standing a good organization which gives Ajax what they need. But yeah, the most important thing they need is time.
So they're rebuilding, having lost 11 players that they bought last year, and they're rebuilding with youth. What is the focus on this youth team, and are they inexperienced as a result of that? How are you seeing the experience on the field? Because they still have Henderson in the middle of the pitch and so on as well, who's got a lot of experience.
Yeah, some of the most important things the new board of Ajax did was bringing in Henderson, bringing in Wout Weghorst, also putting back on the goalkeeper position Remco Pasveer, bringing back Davy Klaassen, who was out of contract at Inter. So yeah, that all are players with a lot of experience, and it is also mentioned by, for example, Kenneth Taylor or Brian Brobby, that it helps them, the experienced players help them to be even a better player than they were before. So the problem last year mostly also was that there were only young players. And yeah, like you will probably know, young players are not at the stable level for the whole season. So they need experience around them to also, for example, in European matches, in difficult away matches, to have the experience around them to help them to be at a stable level. So that's one of the the important things that Ajax did last summer, bringing in not maybe the best players like Wout Weghorst, Davy Klaassen, Jordan Henderson. They aren't at their best level. They have had their best years, but the experience is key, and that's why Ajax brought them in.
So the spine of the team is there's a lot of players of a mature age, and around them there's a lot of youth that come with more technical or faster abilities, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
How is the
exactly.
team set up? How is the current team set up? What formation are they playing, and how is it
Yeah.
currently working?
They're playing in a 4-3-3, maybe a bit traditional formation, especially from for Dutch soccer, of course. And they're playing with Henderson as the defense midfielder, and two more offensive midfielders. And they're playing with two classic wingers. So Mika Goltz and mostly Bertrand Traoré on the right side. They are players with a dribble, with an individual action, and that's very important in the football Farioli wants to play. So they are really patient in build up. They don't play very directly. They have patience to playing around at the back, maybe find some spaces to combine with mostly lower balls. Henderson is very important in the in the
Who's a bit of a
midfield.
link-up player, Henderson, from that aspect.
Exactly, he is the link-up player, you could say, and then they are very patient to bring the ball forward and bring the wingers in possession to make their actions pass against their opponents, and then it's mostly on the individual part how many chances Ajax will create per game. So
And
that's
are a lot of goals coming from the wings then? How many assists have come from the wingers this season, and how important are they for
not so
Ajax
many.
style?
That will they have to improve that. So one of the things is that Farioli relates mostly of the game. So the wingers not playing 90 minutes per game, but mostly playing one half or maybe 1 hour per game. So that of course not don't help to get their numbers in goals and assists. But most of the goals on assist are coming from midfielder Kenneth Taylor. who's the current top scorer and also had the most assists so far this season. And what he's doing very good is finding his spaces in the midfield. He's has a very great orientation around him, and also a very good timing of making runs behind the defense and coming at the right place at the right time. And yeah, in that zone, in that position, he is very important for Ajax right now.
So Taylor's the key player playing just behind the strikers in a more attacking midfield role.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's quite technically gifted from that side, and he's got sounds like a bit of a killer pass.
Yeah, yeah, and in that case, he's a typical product of the Ajax Youth Academy, very technical in a way with both of his legs, so left and right doesn't really matter for him. Very technical also when he's under pressure of opponents. So yeah, he's developing himself very, very good this season.
And have Ajax players been encouraged to dribble a lot more? Because you don't see it so often in modern football, players being encouraged to get the ball and run with it. Is that a bit of a signature of this team? More dribbling and more aggressive attacking?
Yeah, you could say that. I think you also see it a bit more in the current football, like for example, Manchester City, Pep Guardiola, they brought in Jeremy Doku.
Yeah,
And
but
play,
Grealish on the other hand has completely the data on his dribbling has completely declined, and he's having a
yeah,
season. And there's been lots of complaints in the British media about the
that's true.
club
That's
not.
true. But I think in the current football, especially because opponents of Ajax mostly are very defensively, don't give away so much spaces. So you need technical players with an individual action, with a dribble, to create yeah, spaces and to create chances. So that is also why Farioli and Ajax are having this kind of wingers. So yeah, I think that also is one of the reasons.
Okay, tell us a little bit about Favioli then. He's come in he's an Italian, been brought into Dutch football. How has he changed the approach of the team, and what's his style, mentality? And it sounds like he likes to rotate players. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he rotate very much, and yeah, that is not something that he wants. So that's not in the way of his philosophy, but he needs because Ajax have a bit of a small squad, and they start in July with the first qualifier games for Europe. So they playing yeah, most likely above 60 matches this season. So they need to rotate to keep everybody involved and keep everybody fit. He is right with that because only Mika Gods had an injury, a muscle injury, and all the other injuries were contact injuries. So he has the rights on his side. When you look at his philosophy, you definitely see the Italian roots in the way of defending. So the defending is very compact, is don't give away much spaces, and they also Ajax is known for high pressure, putting pressure on the opponents, 90 minutes high on the field. And Farioli is a bit more realistic. So he wants to put high pressure, but when it's not possible or when he sees his players are getting more tired, they are not afraid to put a bit back, waiting on own half for the good moments to get out. So that's a bit of the Italian way of defending that he's brought with him to Amsterdam.
So he's
Uh,
got a bit of
and on
patience, as you
Yeah, a
mentioned.
little bit of patience, yeah. And on the other hand, he worked with Roberto De Serbi for a couple of years. So that's what you see in the position play. So very patiently building up from the back, very taking the time for that and not counter football or direct football, long balls. You don't see that much.
Okay, so if you were to give an overall analysis of what hasn't been working for Ajax this season, they just lost in their cup game against Alkmaar. They're sitting mid-table of the Europa League. What hasn't worked well? What have been their vulnerabilities? What's been their weak spots this season?
Yeah, the weak spot for sure is that the team is not in the with all the players on the bench. They're not at the level of the playing in the starting 11. So I mentioned that Ajax start this season already in July, so they're playing a lot of matches, and they have to rotate to stay everybody fit. But when they rotate, the quality drops down. Way.
There's not enough players. There's not enough fringe players
Exactly.
of good
Yeah,
quality.
exactly.
Well,
And because of
yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. Yeah, because of the financial situation, they are working on that also in the current transfer period. They want to buy Raúl Moro from Real Valladolid. He's a winger, so that would improve the attacking way of play when maybe, for example, Mika Gols or Bertrand Traoré are not available. Because now in the current situation, when Gols or Traoré can't play, they need to bring Chuba Ekpom, who is a striker, putting him on the left, or they bring some young talents like Christian Rasmussen or Jaden Banel. But yeah, in all honesty, they're not the level of an Ajax player. So quality drops down. So I think that's the biggest problem for Farioli. And you could see also in games or in the league games when they play lower opponents with this other kind of players, they have very much trouble to win their game. So they are second in the league, but they're not so dominant as they wanted to be.
Okay. Well, I guess RFS are going through their pre-season and they've all just come back from holiday. They've had two friendly games before this match. So yeah, we'll see. I think you never know. Hopefully, it'll be a bit like when Denmark won the European Championships. They weren't supposed to be in the tournament, came from holiday and won. But
Yeah.
yeah, so Traore, he's also at Ajax. He has played against RFS in the European Conference Cup for Istanbul, an Istanbul team. How's Traore performing at the moment?
Sorry, who do you mean?
Traore, the winger.
Oh, Bertrand Traoré.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is doing well, but he's very ups and very downs. So when he's up, he's the player that Chelsea brought in from Africa, who went with Ajax in his former period to the Europa League final, who did very well at Lyon, at Aston Villa. So yeah, of course he has that ups with great technique, great dribbling. But yeah, sometimes he play games and after the game you're asking yourself, was Traore even playing? Because he don't show enough that of his qualities. So yeah, that's most of the things with him.
And overall, how have Ajax fared against Nordic and Northern Europe teams? I mean, we're not sure about the weather's very up and down at the moment. Hopefully, it'll be a bit colder. But how do Ajax typically do against Scandinavian and Nordic teams?
Yeah, it depends. They had some years when they were playing in the Europa League, mostly with Frank de Boer, who was the manager for a couple of years, and then they had really much trouble playing against North European teams. But yeah, last couple of years when they play there, they do quite well. So I think there's not something like they're are afraid to play North European teams. But yeah, you'll never know. And like you mentioned, the weather, it's for sure is some of the things to keep in mind, of course.
Awesome. And what are your thoughts about the RFS versus Ajax game? Do you have any expectations?
Yeah, I think Ajax will be the better team all in all honestly, and I think Ajax should win, must win. And also, like you said, they're now mid-table of the Europa League, so it's also important for Ajax to get their points and to be at the top of the table, of course. So yeah, I think they will start with the best team. They will take it very seriously, and yeah, it's for Ajax very important to win this game. So I think they will take it very serious.
And what's been the worst result in Europe this season?
Yeah, maybe worst result they played played against Slavia Prague, which was one of the baddest games of Ajax. So they also get a red card there. So playing with 10 it is also it is always a bit more difficult. But I think, yeah, in my eyes, that was the baddest game.
Okay. And what was that score against
They
Slavia Prague?
they
I'm
draw, I
putting,
think, or
yeah,
yeah.
I'm putting you on the spot, so it was a draw. So that's not too
Yeah.
bad. I mean,
Oh, okay, perfect. So
Prague can be a difficult place to go. Okay,
yeah,
Thijs. Well, thank you so much. Well, hopefully, we might see you in Riga if you have a sudden change in heart. But there's 2,300 Ajax fans traveling over here, so it should be a
yeah,
good occasion. It's a very interesting stadium. There's a track around it, and there's no roof. So if there's a bit of snow, then yeah, I hope the Ajax fans manage to dress up. But yeah, I guess
yeah.
that's all for now. But thank you so much. For
Yes,
taking time to speak to us today. It is much appreciated. And just to remind everyone, the Baltic Football Podcast will be back with regular episodes towards the end of this month, when we will also share more about this new and exciting chapter for us, hopefully for you too. For now, thank you very much.